It's Rant O'Clock, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Rant of a Barca Girl. Thank you for joining me again in 2026. This is our first episode. So last week we decided to take a break, for the year because of the festivities, Christmas break, New Year break. And now we are back. And I think we also had to take that break because the team also went on a break, Our boys just returned playing on Saturday. So everybody went on a break apart from, I think, EPL teams. So that's what I've been watching, guys. That's what I've been watching. And it's also interesting because at some point, hopefully, we will be meeting one or two or three of these teams in UCL, because my hope is that we would come out of the group stage. We might have to play some extra games, before getting to the knockout stage. Before getting to round of 16, and then round of 8, and because we haven't really done well at the UCL level. Our performance has been helpful, We've had 2 losses and we had a draw against Club Brugge. We lost against PSG, and then we lost against Chelsea. We all remember the game. I'm sure we also, based on that, I'm not sure we are going to be able to make the top 8. I wish we would, just because we have a very, team squad. Everybody is now back on, but things can just happen at any moment, and I don't want us to stretch ourselves thin. We have so many competitions, we want to win the UCL, Copa del Rey, Super Cup, even La Liga itself. So there's just so many competitions, and unfortunately we do not have, we don't have a robust squad, and we don't have the money to buy players as well. So I hoped that we would be part of the first 8, and then we wouldn't have to play the 2 extra games, but as it is, it's not looking like that. So I had to watch the EPL just because it's a very interesting league as well, very competitive. I'm always watching them, and also because I'm just trying to look at their skills, their strengths, their weaknesses. When we come across them later on, we've played Chelsea, that's part of EPL, and we lost. Not because I think they are way spectacular. It's been awful for them after they won us. It's been downhill for Chelsea, I'm telling you. I think since they won us, they probably won maybe just 2 or 3 games. They've been drawing and they've been losing. So I just feel like it was just one of those bad days for us because, first half we played awfully, and then Arao got that red card, and we couldn't come back the second half. And we had a lot of players that was injured. Pedro could not play, Lewandowski could not play, Rafinha. It was just a bad game. So I just want to call that it is. I don't want to make it seem like, if we meet the next EPL team, they will strangle us the way Chelsea did. I don't think I should even use that word. Anyways, that being said, now I'm just, elongating. I had EPL to keep me busy while our boys were on break. And guys, talking about the game against Espanyol, because I'm sure you guys watch it. Everybody, if you're a true Barcelona fan, you want to watch it because, first of all, I've missed watching the guys play. I've not watched them play for 2 weeks. So, I was already, I was so anxious, and it was like I was even having a withdrawal symptom. So I was really, really, really into that game. 1, because it was a derby, and 2, because it's our first game of the year. We're 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. It's very important that we win. And also because I just want to watch the boys play. It's just been a while for me anyway. So I went into that game with so much expectation because I felt, our boys are well rested. They've not played for almost 2 weeks. So I feel like, they'll be coming with all might. And also because almost all our boys are back, Omo is back from injury. I think the only people we have right now would be, Arao is not injured. He took a mental break, but I think he's back on the team. But he wasn't on our squad list for our game against Espanyol. So almost everybody is back basically. So I had high hope. And then when the lineup came out, and then I realized that I was going to use Rafinha, Rashford, and Lamine. I realized Rafinha would probably be playing 10. It was a good lineup, of course. Eric Garcia is now a starter ahead of De Jong, but it was Eric Garcia and De Jong in that midfield. And then our usual, CB right now that we use them. So we had Gerard Martin, of course, and Kubasi, and we have Kunde. So it was just and I was just expecting. But guys, I kid you not, it was a different thing entirely. My expectation, what happened was like the opposite of my expectation, because I was expecting a beautiful game where we would totally dominate. Maybe not totally dominate, because it's not like Espanyol 2 are like easy work. They are number 5th on the table and they've been playing really, really well. And they've scored a lot of goals this season already. So I knew that it wasn't going to be exactly a walk in the park. But what I saw in that game was like the opposite of what I was expecting from the boys. It was like the first 45 minutes was disastrous, because it felt like the boys went on break, came back, and did not know how to play football anymore. That was just what happened. It was like they didn't know how to play football anymore. I'm watching that team. I'm thinking, this is not the team of 2025. This is not the team that played like 2 weeks ago. What happened? Did they rest too much? Did they stop training? It was awful to see. The first 45 minutes was disastrous. Rashford was a no-show, I'm telling you guys. And then maybe because Rafinha was playing the role of number 10, that role has never really brought out the best in him. He wasn't really good in that role as well. It wasn't sparking. And then Lamine saved for some beautiful one-on-one that happened once or twice in the game. It was just dull, and total quiet from that front. Ferran was also dead, absolutely dead in that game. So first 45 minutes was awful. They kept playing us. They kept getting shot on target. And Joao Garcia was spectacular. It was built for that yesterday game. Specifically, like he came with all fire, one because he was playing his former team and they were booing him, and that didn't even affect him. He came with all strength and might. Guys, I'm not joking. He was, if not for Joao Garcia, we would in that first half be like losing like 3-0, 4-0. They were firing shots to him left, right, and center, and he kept defending. He was beautiful. At some point, he had to defend such that he had to use Gerard Martin as a face, just so the ball won't get into the goal. Yeah, the goal post. It was just, it was just that brilliant. It was just that heated up. And for 45 minutes went, and I was like, I couldn't even recognize my team. I couldn't even recognize the boys. I was thinking, what is going on? Of course, Pedro was on the bench. Femi was on the bench. Omo was on the bench. So I just like, what is going on? Anyway, second half, Flick knew he needed to make some adjustments anyway, so he didn't start Rashford in the second half, which I think was a good call. Replaced Femi with Rashford, which was good. That went on. Even with that change, it was still sluggish play from the boys. It was like they were just not in the game. Espanyol kept threatening us. They were playing better. And then he made some changes again as well. He brought in Pedri, brought in Omo, removed Ferran, brought in Lewandowski. And then for me, I didn't see much improvement in the game, up until like 15-20 minutes to the end of the game. 15-20 minutes to the end of the game, the boys started gearing up. There was a bit of there was a bit of spark, 1 or 2 spark from them. Femi made some outstanding runs, prior to those times. Omo was quiet in that game up until 86 minutes. So at exactly 86 minutes of that game, there was a beautiful pass from Femi, and then Omo with a bouncy, beautiful, spectacular goal. That shot was amazing. One thing, because prior to that, I said bring Omo in. He works well in tight spaces. Anyway, the Omo that we bought, the Omo that we know, the Omo that we love, He's very good in tight spaces. And when you look at that goal that he scored at that 6 minutes, it was exactly that, because it was a goal that you wouldn't see. It's I don't know how to explain. It's like, when you're in a tight space and you will expect that even if you get a goal, it's going to be like maybe a very dull shot inside the post. No, it was the opposite of that. It was in a tight space, and somehow Omo was able to wind up a beautiful shot, like an area shot. It was that mad. It was a spectacular goal. Spectacular, worthy of Omo in all regard. And so that goal gave us an advantage for one goal ahead at 6 minutes. But it wasn't all cool and calm after that, guys, because Espanyol kept pressing. Like, they also wanted at least a point. They wanted a draw. They wanted something out of it. They kept pressing and pressing and pressing. And like I said, Joan Garcia, oh my God, standing ovation, a round of applause. He was, I don't know another adjective to use. If there's a word beyond spectacular, he was mesmerizing yesterday. It was absolutely beautiful to see. So, they kept pressing, and deserves, because, to be honest, deserving sold, excuse my French or English, because they were playing better than us. They were pressing better. They had better control of the midfield. They were doing way better up until, like I said, 15 minutes to the end of the game. Pedri came, changed the game a bit, tempo of the game, but they were the better team. You would think, prior to us getting that first goal, you think, Espanyol would be at the front. They would be like 2 or 3 goals ahead, like I said. That would have happened if not for Joan Garcia. And then that went on, beautiful goal from Omo. And then 90 minutes, like 4 minutes after that, saw Fermin made a beautiful run from the midfield. To box 18, and then called the ball to the other side, and Lewandowski was waiting there. Lewandowski was just on the other side. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, Fermin did most of the job, because he ran from the midfield, ran spectacularly, ran aggressively to the midfield, called the ball, knew where to call the ball to, and saw Lewandowski waiting right there. And then, of course, Lewandowski made good use, of that opportunity, and that gave us the second goal. And at that point, it was 90 minutes. I think Espanyol realized that they were not going to win that match. So, yeah. So, I think it was just flashes of brilliance that won us that match. Just flashes of individual brilliance. So, we won that match because, first of all, Joan Garcia was amazing. And then individual brilliance from Omo, and then Fermin won us that game, as far as I'm concerned. So, but as a team, oh my God, we were disastrous. As a team, we were way below par. It was like we were sleeping all through. It was like we had nothing to lose. And, so I don't know what is wrong with you, to be honest. But at the end of the day, we got the 3 points because of Joan Garcia. So I'm just going to take that as a win, because at the end of the day, we got the 3 points. It's still a win. But I'm sure Hansi Flick will go back and talk to the boys, because that is not how to play as a team. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. Everybody was dead. Up until it. Everybody. In fact, 90% of the team was, excuse if I could do that, just excuse that. Doing it again. Was that bad? Anyways, I'm happy because Real Madrid played today and they won 5-1. I think it was 5-1. Hat-trick from, I don't even want to talk about, but 5-1. So imagine if we had lost that game, we would have just been like 2 points behind Real Madrid. So as it stands, we're still like 4 points, 2 points ahead of Real Madrid rather. So as it stands, we are still 4 points ahead of Real Madrid, which is good. So I'm going to take it the way it is. That being said, the transfer market is open, guys. The transfer market is open. And I don't know. I'm so envious, guys. I am so envious. I'm going to go back to EPL again, because that's where the money is right now. That's where they are bubbling, they are balling, excuse me, but they are balling. They are buying players, they are spending ridiculous amount of money. Last transfer Liverpool spent close to 500 million on players. Arsenal spent over 400 million on players, if not so, and then I went online and then I saw Arteta, of course, Arsenal's coach said, "Oh, January transfer window is open, and if they have opportunity, they are willing to strengthen their squad." And I'm thinking, God, those days when we would not even, if we need a player, it's not about money. We will just get it because one, we have the money, two, we have the prestige. Everybody wants to play in Barca. So we want a player, we just snap our fingers. It's like the other way now. Of course, we still have our prestige, but we don't even have money. So I'm so envious of those EPL teams that are buying players because they have the money. And it's January market is open now, and I don't have hope. We need a CB. We need a world-class CB. And that requires money. I don't know how we are going to make that happen because I kid you not. We've converted Gerard Martin to a CB and is decent. I think that's the word. It's decent. But that's not what we need to win UCL. We need more than decent. We need spectacular. We need amazing. We need top professional. People that know what I'm saying? We need a CB. And it's just been quiet. Apart from one or two rumor. I mean, for me, I would like us to probably pick McGree of Crystal Palace. But one, do we have the money? Two, does he want to leave England for Spain? So in that regard, I don't want to put my mind on it. I don't want to raise my hope unnecessarily. But still, I know we need a CB. We need a CB this January. It would be nice if we can get a CB this January. Even as Flick has come out to say, we need a CB. We need to strengthen the squad. He has said it. But how that is going to happen, where are we going to get the money from? The quality of CB we are going to get? I don't know, guys. I'm just saying I'm envious. Transfer window is open. People are making plans. We cannot make plans, and I am envious of that. So we just wait and see. And another thing that keeps bothering me is also the fact that we need a striker. We need a clutch striker. Lewandowski is not it anymore. He's old. And Ferran is a miss. He picks the day he wants to show up. That's the thing about Ferran. Ferran is so unpredictable. There are some days that he would say, "Oh, I want to be good today," and he would come in and he would be good. And there are some days he would decide, "I want to be completely shitty," and I tell you, he would be completely shitty. So Ferran is unpredictable. You can't rely on Ferran. It's just, no, that's not. It's funny because Barcelona of when we are rich, Ferran would not even make a beat him. You will know in terms of being a striker. But it is what it is, we are broke, so we're just trying to join things left, right, and center. But still, it's not, I think for me, the thing about Ferran is the fact that it's not growing. I'm serious. Ferran is not growing on me. I haven't seen that growth. So we look at Gerard Martin and then we talk about Eric Garcia. I mean, last season, nobody expected those two to be a starter. But they grew. I'm serious. Still, I'm saying this because, yes, they are not up to the par of what we need, in terms of a CB and defensive midfielder. I still don't think they are up to par in that regard. But they've grown such that they've become a starter. If somebody had told you maybe last season that Gerard Martin would now be at least a decent CB, you would have said, "Come on, I wanted him out of our team." Even David Garcia, because they were, at some points, they were awful. But they grew. Somehow, Ferran has refused to grow. It's just the same Ferran. It's the same story with Ferran. Some days he was spectacular, some days he will be rubbish. I don't know. So we need a striker. So, guys, what do you think? Do you think we are going to get a striker? I know it's not going to happen this January anyway because Lewandowski contract does not finish until June. So, but what do you think about CB? Who do you think we are going to get? Do you think it's going to happen this January? Are you as frustrated as I am? Do you wish for miracle as much as I do? Because I really wish for one, guys. I really, really, really wish for one. Anyways, guys, That's all that is going on right now. And then in another news, hopefully Camp Nou would be the capacity would be strengthened to 65,000 soon. They're waiting for the council to give approval on that, for the city council to give approval on that. I mean, that's a good thing. That would be a good thing, increase our income in that regard, our revenue, bigger people to cheer us on. So it's a win-win. I'm waiting for that. But I think that's all the news we have right now. That's all the news I have on Barca. But like I said, we do this podcast once a week, but our social media is always on 24/7. We post updates. We engage with you guys. I'm always engaging with you guys. I'm always talking about, day-to-day things that happens, that is happening in our club. I'll continue to do that. So just keep reaching out on social media like you are. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. Just keep engaging and keep sharing, keep talking to us. Keep dropping your review on Apple, on Spotify. And guys, remember, good or bad, we rant. Bye, killers. See you next week.